Ogamisa.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So let's wait for the rest. I think we are four now. Still expecting more people.
Software is here. We are not for.
Okay, we are three. Like three students. Okay.
My network is bad. Might just go off at any time.
No problem.
You are recording, no, Allah, so I'll check the recording out.
Okay. So we are welcome. We'll start by 2:07. We start by 2:07. That is 5 minutes time. We only have 3 students online. So in 5 minutes time, we'll start the class. So Mr. Goodness, you're welcome. We're starting by 2:07.
Okay, no problem. Good evening, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon. So since we are not that many in the class, I would want us to on our mic, and I would want us to um, you can break in and ask question while I'm explaining, so that we don't have to wait till the end of the class to ask questions. So it will make it more interactive. So since we are not that many, so good afternoon. How's been our day? And how's been C sharp? So I want to respond. Sorry.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, sir. So have we been practicing since we started C sharp? How's been the practice, or we've just been waiting for another class? So how many of us have been engaging in many other things that has to do with C sharp?
I've been trying to practice anyway, but this is the assignment we were given the last time. The
Yeah,
first question we were given to solve us and system was quite complex. I don't really understand it. I just have
understand.
to do it.
Okay, okay. Is that the same with every other person? You've not been able to do the assignment, like understand it very well. I'm expecting a response. This is Goodness, Mr. Bumi, and Mr. Atimileyin.
I don't really get what he said though.
Okay, he said he has not been able to do the assignment that was given in the last class because he's still finding it difficult to understand very well. So I'm asking if that's the case with every other person.
No, not really. I was able to do it, but with I searched online, then I got other materials too that I was also looking at. They helped me do it. But the challenge is that now there's no room for us to play, so to really practice it like that. So that's my major challenge.
Okay, okay. Mr. Bumi and Mr. Atimileyin, do you have any input? Hello, Mr. Bumi, Mr. Atimileyin, are you with us? Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay, okay. So by the end of the class, I will forward a material, a C-sharp material that we explain, that will guide you so that you can even go beyond what we teach in class. So before we go into what we have today, I would like to, should I say, whet our appetites and to help, let us see the things C-sharp can do. So I will just share one of my personal projects and I will show you the things I was able to do with C sharp. So early last year, I started a project on hotel management system. So I used C sharp in writing the hotel management system. So I'll be sharing the screen now so that before we can even go into what we have to do. So this is the code, as you can see. This is the code. This is the code. This is Visual Studio. It took me a lot of time, although I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet, but you can see some basic things from the little you know. Let me show us just some little things from just some of the understanding we have. Okay, okay, you can see this is okay. I'm trying to look for something that not too that we are a bit familiar with. Okay, you can see this is a variable. This is a variable. This is a variable. Okay. So I want to run the application now so that you see what C Sharp can do. So the application is just the desktop application. The desktop application that help manage hotel services. So I intend monetizing it. I've done some presentation in some hotels and all that. So, but the project is not done yet. I want to integrate it with the cloud such that it's just a desktop app for now. So let me run the application. But today we'll be looking at decisions and loop. But I just want us to see so that we can actually know that our labor and what we are doing, it's not in vain. So you just need to persist. So with time, you understand the language very well. So when you understand the language, you can dive into any aspect of .NET framework you want to handle. So I'm building the application now. It's taking too much time to build. Still building. It's an heavy application. The desktop application still building. Okay, so while waiting for it to build, let me just introduce what we'll be doing today. So now we'll be looking at decision making today. We'll be looking at if statement, if else statement, if else if and else statement, nested if statement, then switch operator, then this symbol question mark full column operator. It's called ternary operator. Then we'll also be looking at loop also today. We're looking at loop also, looking at while loop, for loop, do while loop, nested loop, loop control statement, and infinite loop. So from what we've been taught, we have basic understanding of variables, we have basic understanding of data types, we know how to declare variable now, we know the various data types that exist, and we know how to do some basic operations. We know how to use some basic operators like plus, minus, and all that. So now, decision making, imagine you have a system. Take for example, you have a system that you have several conditions. So you have an input, you want to subject that input to various conditions, and you want to perform different operations for every of the conditions. Take for example, like an example I prepared for this class, maybe you want to write a program that we determine the grade of a student. If the student enter a score, now you want to determine the grade. Maybe the person is having A, maybe the person will be having B, maybe the person will be having C. So now there are conditions, call them conditional statements. They are conditional statements. So the if statement now is just a statement that helps you to subject an input or a variable to different conditions, and you can perform various actions based on those conditions when they are satisfied. So let me check what we are building. Okay, it's taking too much time. Okay, it's having issues with the database. I'm coming. I need to build this to the database. Coming. So. So I want to introduce us to, I want to show us the work. So we still go back to what we are doing today. Connect to the database. Okay, coming. Okay, let me go now. Okay, should do now and show us the outputs. Okay, so we'll be making use of our GitHub account very well. I prepared a particular example from this example I cited, that we have a score and you want to know the grade and all that. So I've already written the code for it and we'll look at it together. Then I'll also push the code to my GitHub account. So you can pick it up and fork it to your GitHub account and you can take deep look at it. And if there are questions, you can also ask on the Slack channel. Then, like I said the other time, by the end of the class, I'll be sending the material to the Slack channel. Now, the application I want to show us is done booting now. So let me share the application with us. So where is it? Okay, this is it. So now, can we all see the application? Can we see HMS on the page?
Yes.
Okay, so now it's an hotel management system. So now let me log in. Use it to maintain the activities of the hotel. Okay, now can we see the home page? Can we see it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the software. It took me some months. Although I'm not done yet, but it's just for management of hotel activities and checking guest list and all that. So I can't be explaining what the application does because so much, but you can see. But this was written in C#. I used the WPF technology to write this. So I'm actually showing us this to actually encourage us so that we can have a foresight, like have an idea of what you are learning is capable of doing. So this is just C#, nothing more. It's just C#. So I'll close the application now and we'll go straight to what we have today. Go please to what we have today. So let me shut down. Okay, I'll close my application. Okay, so now done debugging. So let me open our target for today's class. I want to open the code that we will all understand after this class. I've written the code. So it covers everything I will be explaining in today's class. So that's what I showed us now is a WPF. If you realize when you are creating a new project, you see different options. You see .NET Core, you see WPF, you see Windows Form, you see all manner of them. You can create many projects on Visual Studio. So, but the one you started with, which is what every student starts with, is the console application, which is what we've been introduced to from the first class. So if you can use the console application to understand all the syntax around the language, now to be able to switch from a technology to another technology won't be difficult. So so this is what we will understand. We will understand this code by the end of the class, and especially we will understand this code. So now, what does the application does? So I want to run it now. It's a console app which we are very conversant with. Let me run it. Put the breaking point there. Okay. So still loading. So it's still loading. It's taking so much time. Okay, it is downloading now. So this is what the application does. To ask you, enter the number of students you are considering for this application. Let's assume I'm considering 3 students. Enter 3. Enter the number of courses offered by these students. So I'm starting with 4 students. When the student offers 3 courses. Now I say enter score for course 1. Let me enter 56. Then enter score for course 2. Let me enter 67. Then enter score for course 3. Let me enter 89. We all know, I believe some of us have a understanding of how the grade system in universities are built on. So 56 is C, 67 is B, 89 is A, then that's 3.4.5 points. So you enter it. You can see now it says you have 2 points and grade D haven't scored 56, therefore you passed. You have 3 points and grade C haven't scored 67, therefore you passed. It's the same thing for. So now it's asking for the second student now. Let me say, okay, how many courses does the second student does? Let me put 4. Then the score for the first one, let me make this student fail the first one, 23. Then the second one, let him fail again. Let's give him 34. The third one, 56. Fourth one, 87. So now it tells us now, as you can see now, it says, okay, you have 0 points on grade F haven't scored 23. You have 0 points and grade F haven't scored 34, failed. You have 2 points and grade D haven't scored 56, passed. So now that's our target for this class. So we're going to be starting right away. So all what we'll be learning in this class was employed to build this simple console application. And just like I said, okay, this was the code, just not much code, just 68 line code. So now let's start, and let me start explaining conditional statements. So let's start a new project. So normally we start with our console application. So now console application, let me call it decision loop. Okay. So the first thing we'll be considering is if statement. If statement, like I explained the other time, if statement is just a condition. You want to know if this is this, do this. If that is that, do that. So now, what it will do, you are the one that will specify it as a programmer. Then the condition that must be fulfilled, you are the one that will specify it also as a programmer. We're still creating projects. Okay, yeah, voila. We have a very clean page now. So let's start now. If statement. Now let's assume A. Now you know in just as you were taught, when you're declaring any variable in C#, definitely have to put the data type. Let me say int A equals 7. Then you know you should close every line in C# with a semicolon. So now then I say if as a condition now, this is how you write it. If now I want to know if A is greater than 7. If A is greater than 7, you should tell me I'm a good boy. So what I'll just do is if, then I open a parenthesis. This is called a parenthesis. This brackets, open and close bracket. So inside it now will be the condition I want to subject it to. So I will say, okay, if A is greater than, let's say 5. Now that's the condition. I've put the condition inside that parenthesis. Then I now open a curly brace. You can see the curly brace now. I'm talking about this now. Now, this now, you can see it. Now, if A is greater than 5, then what do I want it to do? Or what I want it to do, I'll put it inside that curly braces. So I can now say, okay, console dot write line. Console dot write line. Oh, it's a young man. A is greater than 5. Now, as usual, I still have to close it with my semicolon. So that's a condition now. If A is greater than 5. So let's run it. Now, just as we were told in the last class that due to the fact that we are using console app, so that the screen will not just go and come and just appear and go like that, we need to put read key. So now, do we all understand this simple line? Please, I expect a response, please. Do you understand this simple explanation? Can I run it?
Yes.
Okay. So let me run it. So it's still building. Let's share my screen. Okay, where is it? Okay. Okay, now, as you can see now, it has done what we asked it to do. It's telling us, young man, A is greater than 5. That was because A is actually 7. Therefore, that condition was fulfilled. So it went further and printed what was put inside the curly braces. So that's how conditional statement works. That's how conditional statement works. So let's go back to our code and refurbish it a little bit. and put. So now that the condition was met. Now let me make it this way. If A is less than 5, the condition will not be fulfilled. So now let me go further and let me run this and see if it's going to print it. Okay. So now what we will notice is it's not going to print anything because A is not less than 5. A is greater than 5. So if the condition is not fulfilled, it won't do anything. But it will only do what is inside the curly brace when the condition is fulfilled. So now let's move to if and else statement. If and else statement. You can see that it is not doing anything now because we did not ask it to do anything. So now okay, so now let's put one more condition. Let's now put else. So what else means is in case the condition above is not fulfilled, in case any of the condition you've mentioned with your if statement is not fulfilled, come and do what is inside of here. Irrespective if you are fulfilling the condition or you are not fulfilling it, come and do what is here. So now I'll just inside my else, I'll put this action. I'll say, okay, console.writeLine. I just put no condition for you. No condition for you. So now let's see how it's going to respond. The other one did not print anything because the condition was not met. Now in this case, now the condition is still not favorable. A is 7 and 7 can be less than 5. So it won't fulfill what we have here, but else is going to come and do what we have here. So let me just run it, and that'll be the last run, and then we'll now go to if and else if. So let me run it again. Please, in case this session ends, let's come back using the same link. In case this section ends, let's come back using the same link. Okay, now our output is out. Let me show us our output. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, is it? Okay. So now you can see now, no condition for you. That means it was not less than 5, but in case anything happens, no condition for you to be fulfilled, come and do what is inside of else. So that's what else is meant for. Now, in a case whereby you have so many conditions you want to subject it to. Now, what you make use of is you make use of else if. You make use of else if. So now that's a else if. Now in this case, else if A is greater than 5, which is true for us, then you can see I wrote my curly braces. So anything you want to be done when that condition is fulfilled, you put those actions inside the curly brace. So now I'll be console.writeLine. Then I'll write young man. A is, the other one should be A is less than 5. Okay, young man, A is greater than 5. A is greater than 5. So now, if when it's coming now, computer works, the way programming works is line after the other, one line after the other. So now we declared A to be 7. The first condition, if A is less than 5, do what is inside of here. So what you have here is always your condition. So now, else if A is greater than 5, come and do what we have here. Now, else in case is not greater than 5, is not less than 5, which is the such kind of condition can only be when A is 5, then come and do what we have here. So it's going to do what we have in this place. So that's how if and else works. So if you saw the example I gave the other time, when the score is when the person enters the score, it's going to say, okay, your grade is A, your point is this. All I just employed here was that I subjected the score to the various conditions. So now let's assume this is a score. Let me rename my variable to be a score. And let's assume is 70. And okay, I know that for you to have an A in a course, that means it will be within the range of 70 and 100. So I can say if score is greater than or equal to 70. Now, in case you have two conditions you want to merge together, now you use this and you can see the symbol now, they call it ampersand, two and symbol together, and score is less than or equal to 100. Now the reason I put the two conditions is I can't just say if score is greater than 70. If the person went ahead and entered 120, that is invalid. So I need to subject it to the two boundaries. So if score is greater than or equal to 70 and score is less than or equal to 100, do what we can see here. Now, so what I want to do is I'll just say, okay, young man, I'll just write your grade is A. Now, I can do the next one and say, okay, if score is greater than, the next boundary is 60, greater than or equal to. That's why if you can see the equal to now, it's not just like greater than now, greater than and equal to. And score is less than or equal to 69. Now do what we have here. So what I want it to do now is tell the young man, your grade is B. So I can continue to the next one and do else. If score is greater than or equal to 50 and score is less than or equal to 59. Now, what do I want it to do? I need a curly brace. I put my curly brace. Then I want it to print out and tell